Greetings,
Shalom.
pod.
We
No.
are doing a new
Salutations.
series. It's the spooky series. I think once a month we should do this.
Once
a
a month? That seems like
Yeah,
okay.
but except on October's, it'll be every
Every
Saturday.
day.
No, not every day.
Just every
No,
day.
October it'll be every Saturday.
Yeah, every Saturday on
October.
October. Yeah, we're gonna do this. Horn had the good idea of picking No Sleep. And we're gonna go read through some of these. It's midnight for me, so I'm gonna be a bit quieter than them. But yeah.
Yeah.
Also, there's no music to add to the stuff. Right, so we're skipping my sugar daddy asked me for weird favors.
Oh, yo. Hey, yo.
What kind of favors?
Wow. But we're starting with this
Hey,
one.
let's not go there.
Go for like a scary one.
This
if you can
one's
find
scary.
it. What's the title?
Something walks whistling past my house every night at 3:03.
Oh, that's fun.
Mhm.
I think it's time to go smoke, boys.
Here we go. Every night, no matter the weather, something walks down our street whistling softly. You can hear it only if you're in the living room or in the kitchen. When they walk by, and it always starts at 3:03.
Oh, damn.
The sound starts faint, somewhere near the beginning of the lane near the Carson place, where towards the middle of the street. So whistling moves past us before fading away in the direction of the cul-de-sac. When I was younger, my sister and I would sneak to the kitchen some nights to listen. Mom and Dad didn't like that we'd catch hell. Didn't like that, and we'd catch hell if they found us down there. But we'd never too hard on us since we always stuck to the one big rule: don't try to look at whatever was whistling. My neighborhood is a funny place. I've lived there since I was 6 and I love it. The houses are small but well kept. Good sized yards, plenty of places to roam. There are a lot of other kids here my age. I turned 13 back in October. We grew up together, and I would always play foursquare in the cul-de-sac or roam around from the porch back to the porch in the summer. This was a good place to grow up. I'm old enough to see it. And there's only two strange things here: the night whistling and the good luck. The whistling never bothered me much. Like I said, I couldn't even hear it from my bedroom, but my parents didn't like talking about it. So I stopped asking questions. My dad is a strong guy, tall and calm. He has an accent since he moved to the US as a kid. His family, my grandparents, are from the islands. That's what they call it. My dad, the only time he isn't so calm is if the whistler comes up. He talks a little quicker then. Always move faster. He tells us not to think about it so much and always to remember the one rule. The big rule. Don't try to look outside when the whistler goes past. Not that we could even look if we wanted to. See, the shutters are inside the window. Thick pieces of heavy canvas that pull down from the top and latch to the bottom of the window frame. Each latch even has a small lock, about the size you'd find on a diary. My dad locks those shutters every night before we all go to bed and keeps the key in his room. My mom, I don't know what she thinks about the whistling. I've seen her out in the living room before 3:03 when it starts, and I could see her if I cracked my door open just to peek. She's not out there often. At least, I haven't caught her much. But once or twice a month, I think she sits there on the big red couch just listening. The whistler has the same tune every night. It's cheerful. Da 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 da. Wait, da da. Wait, da 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 dum. Da 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 dum. Remember how I said there were two odd things about where I live? Well, besides our night whistler, everyone in my neighborhood is really lucky. It's hard to explain. My dad doesn't like us talking about this part much either. But good things seem to happen when people are around here a lot. Usually it's small things: winning radio contests, getting unexpected promotion at work, or finding arrowheads buried in the yard, and the authentic kind. The weather is pretty good, and there's no crime, and everybody's gardens bloom extra bright in the fall. A million little blessings, I've heard my mom say about living here. But the main reason we stay here is why we moved here in the first place. My sister Noah. She was born very sick, something with her lungs. We couldn't bring her home when she was born, only visit her in the hospital. She was so small, I remember small even compared to the other babies. A machine had to breathe for her. We moved into our house to be a bit closer to the hospital. As soon as we moved here, Nola started getting better. The doctors couldn't figure it out. They chalked it up to whatever they were doing was working, but we could tell they were confused. But my parents knew, even I knew, Nola getting better was just another one of the million little blessings we got from living in our neighborhood. So that's why we stayed even after we found out that for that small miracle that happens every day, now and then, some bad things happen, but they only happen if you look out for the whistler. See, our neighborhood is a welcoming committee. They show up with macaroni casserole and a gift basket and a manila folder whenever someone new moves in. They're very friendly. 4 people showed up when we moved 7 years ago. The committee made small talk, gave them a Snickers bar, and took turns holding Nola. It was her first week out of the hospital, so they were extra careful. Then the committee asked to speak to my parents private, so I was sent to my room, where I still managed to hear nearly every word. Nearly every word. The welcoming committee told my parents how nice the neighborhood was. Really exceptionally, hard to explain, kinda nice. And they told me my parents are hard to explain. The whistling that happened every morning at 3:03 and ended at the tick of 3:05. The group, our new neighbors, warned my parents that the whistling was quiet, would never harm or hurt us, as long as we didn't look for what was making the sound. This part, stressed, and I pushed my ear to the door, straining to hear them. People who went looking for the whistler had their luck change, sometimes tragically. A black cloud would hang over anyone that looked. Anything could go wrong, and would. The manila envelope the committee brought over contained newspaper clippings, stories about car crashes, ruined lives, public deaths, and freak accidents. Not everyone dies, I've heard the head of the committee tell my dad, but the life goes out of them. Even if they live, there's no light in them ever again. No presence. My mom, I could tell she wasn't taking it seriously. She kept asking if this was some prank they played on new neighbors, and she got angry. She accused the committee of trying to scare us out of our new home, and asked them if they were racist on account of my dad being from the islands. My dad calmed her down and told her he could tell our new neighbors were sincere, they were just trying to help us. He explained that he grew up hearing these kinds of stories from his mom, and there were strange things that walked among us. Some of those strange things were good, and some of them were bad. Most were just different. After the committee left, Dad went to the hardware store, bought the canvas blinds, the latches, the locks, and installed them on every single window in the house after dinner. That first night, our new house, I crept out of my room at 3 a.m. only to find my dad awake sitting in the living room couch, holding my baby sister. My dad would hold up his finger in a shh motion, but patted the couch next to him. I sat and we waited. At exactly 3:03, we heard the whistling. It came and it went, just like our neighbor said. The whistling returns each night, and we never look, and we enjoy a million little blessings every day. Nola breathes on her own, and she's grown into a strong, clever girl. My dad even joined the welcoming committee. We don't get new neighbors often. Why would anyone want to leave? But when a new family moves in, my dad and the committee bring the macaroni casserole, a gift basket, and the manila folder. I can always tell by the look on my dad's face when he comes back from the family. Comes back if the family took the committee seriously, or if we'd be getting new neighbors very again soon. Not long ago, a family moved directly next to us. Previous owner, Miss Maddie, passed away at the age of 105. Jesus. She lived a good long life. Our new neighbors seemed they'd fit in just fine. They believed the welcoming committee took my dad's advice on locking the shutters since they had a young child of their own, and whatever newspaper clippings they had in the manila envelope, whatever evidence my dad never let us see. But I imagine it must have been awfully convincing since our neighbors got along with no issues for the first month. One night, when our new neighbors had to leave town, they sent their son Holden to stay with us. He was 12, a year under me in school. I didn't know him well before that night, but as soon as his parents dropped him off in dinner, I could tell it was going to be a bad time. Do you know who is always out there whistling every night? Holden asked, as soon as the adults left. The three of us sitting in the den, some Disney movie playing idly on the television. My sister and I exchanged a glance. We don't talk about it. I think it's that weirdo that lives in the big yellow house on the corner. Mr. Tolles? My sister asked. No way, he's really nice. Holden shrugged. Must be a psycho killer then. We don't talk about it, I repeated. Let's go in my room and play Nintendo. We spent the next few hours playing games, eating popcorn, watching movies. Typical sleepover, but I could see Holden was getting antsy. After my parents had wished us good night, locked the blinds and gone to bed, Holden stood up from his beanbag and walked over to where Nola and I were sitting on our bed. Have you ever tried looking? It's nearly time. Like most sleepovers, we conveniently ignored any suggestion of a bedtime. I was shocked to see he was right. It's almost 3 a.m. We don't see. I can't even try to look because my dad locks the blinds every night and hides the key. So does our dad. No, replied Holden. No, he doesn't. You saw him do it, I said, a little sharper than I meant to sound. Holden grinned. Your dad locks the blinds, yeah, but he doesn't hide the key. He keeps it on his normal keychain. So? I asked, worried, because I knew what he would say next. So, after your dad locked up, before your parents went to bed, I went to the bathroom, and on my way, I peeked into the room. I may have seen your dad's keychain on his nightstand, and I may have went and borrowed them. Nolan and I stared at his grin, and it only grew wider. You're lying, I said. He shrugged. Stay here, I told both of them. Don't move a muscle. I hurried over to my parents' room, but hesitated. If Holden wasn't lying, my dad would be angry. Beyond angry. I was scared about thinking about it, but more scared if an open window with the whistler right outside. I opened the door, barely an inch, and looked in. It was too dark to see. Taking a deep breath, I walked into the room. 2 steps into the dark before I froze. The whistling started, and I could hear it clearly from my parents' room. I never realized, but they must have heard the sound like every night since we've lived in the house, and they never told us. I don't think I could have slept through it. I stood there, listening out for the whistling to come closer, unsure whether I should turn on the light or call out for my dad. Soft sounds from the living room brought me back to reality. I yelled for my sister, running out of my parents' bedroom. Holden and Nola were standing near the front door at a window. Holden wasn't lying. I could see him fumbling with the lock. Holden and Nola stood right next to him, hunched up, afraid, maybe curious, at the whistling was right outside our house now. I think I made a sound, called out. I can't remember. Time felt frozen. Clock hands nailed to the face. but I felt myself moving. Wait, one sec. I heard the snap start to raise, and I heard a whistling just on the other side of the window. But I heard my arms around Nola, and I turned so she was facing away from the window. At the same time, I jammed my eyes shut. The blind window opened. The whistling stopped. I felt Nola shaking in my arms. Don't look. Don't turn around. We positioned so that she was facing back towards the hallway, and I was facing the window. My eyes still closed, and I felt her nod into my shoulder. I reached out in the arm holding Nola and tried to touch Holden. My hand brushed against his arm. He was shaking worse than Nola. Holden? I asked. Silence. I reached past him gingerly, felt for the window. Eyes still sealed shut. The glass was cold against my fingertips, colder than it should have been for that time of year. I moved my hand against that window, searching for the string for the blind. The glass began to get warmer the further and further I reached, until I got to a gentle hum feeding back to my fingertips. I tried not to think about what would be on the other side of the window. Finally, I touched the string and yanked the blind shut. I opened my eyes. In the dim light leaking from the kitchen, I could make out Holden, pale and small, staring from the now closed window. Holden? He turned towards me and screamed. Everything became a flurry of motion. Lights sparked to life in the hall and living room. My parents' footsteps thudded across the hardwood floor. I didn't turn to look at them. My eyes were glued to Holden. He was pale. He had bit his lip so hard that a thin red line of blood was running down his chin, and he wetted himself. What happened? My dad asked. Angrily. I managed to swivel away from Holden and look back. He looked. I'd never seen my dad scared before, but I saw it that night. And at that moment, an old, ugly terror stretched his face, a parent's fear. Just Holden, he mouthed to me. I nodded yes. My dad let out a breath. He looked so relieved that I nearly expected him to cheer. But he turned to Holden, and my dad's face changed. I wonder if he felt bad for feeling good that Holden was the only one that looked. There was a knock at the door. We all froze, and Holden whimpered. My mom said, "Don't answer it." She stood at the threshold of the hall. I'd always thought she was a skeptic, and always remembered that my dad about the windows and the whistler. I noticed that both of my parents held baseball bats. They must have taken from the bedroom. The knock came again, a little louder this time. "Please don't open the door," Holden whispered. My dad walked over to him and hugged him close. "We won't," Dad promised, holding his bat. "Nothing is coming here tonight." Thud, thud, thud. Hold on. Damn it, I just got a call. Damn it, someone's calling me on Discord. It's Crusher. Sorry about that. Alright, sorry, where were we? Yeah, we won't, my dad promised, holding his bat. "Nothing is coming in here tonight." Thud, thud, thud. This time the knocking was loud enough. This time was loud enough to rattle the door. Holden screamed again, and Nola clutched her arms around my neck. My mom came over and knelt down to us, wrapping my sister and me close. Thud, thud, thud. "Call the police," my mom whispered to my dad. The knocking instantly stopped. My dad looked over his shoulder at us. Do you think he was cut off by a frantic knocking at the trail of a polite tap, tap, tap? "Police," something said from the other side of the door. The voice from outside sounded exactly like my mom, like a parrot repeating the words back to her. "Police, call the police. Tap, 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 police." My mom pulled us closer. "Police, police, police, police." "Please stop," I heard her whisper. "I don't think calling them will help," my dad said. How will we know when they're the ones at the door?" The knocking came back harder than before. The door shook. Then it stopped. After a long moment, I heard the knocking again, but it was coming from our back door. We turned together towards the back door. Knocking immediately returned to the front door, and then back to front to back to front. Loud to quiet to loud to quiet again. Suddenly, the sound was from both doors at once. Big, heavy blows like a sledgehammer. Then something started rapping against the windows of the house, the walls. It was like we were living inside a drum with a dozen people trying to play it at once. Or we were a turtle and something was attempting to claw us out of our shell. "Stop," Holden yelled. The knocking died. "I won't tell," Holden said, staring at the door. "I promise I won't tell anyone what I saw. Just please go away." We waited nearly a minute. Then we heard it, a soft tap, tap, tap coming from the window Holden had looked through earlier. He started to cry, sobbing like a prisoner watching gallows being built outside their cell. My dad held him, brushed his hair, but never lied to him. Never told him things would be okay. The tapping at the window went on for the rest of the night. We held together in the living room, I don't know how long. Eventually my mom tried to take us kids into my room, while my dad stayed at the door. The second we moved into the bedroom, the knocking came back, so loud it was possible to ignore. I was afraid the door wouldn't take it. We went back up to the living room, the knocking sound. Only the tap, tap, tap on the window remained. None of us slept that night. The tapping stopped around 7 a.m. That's what the time the sun comes up here. We waited another 2 hours before my dad opened the blinds. "Okay," he told us, "it's done." Holden's parents came back around lunchtime. My mom, dad walked Holden over to his house, and they all went inside for a while. Nola and I watched them from the window, and she stuck to me the whole day, right at my side, sometimes holding my hand. When my parents came back, they looked grim but wouldn't tell us what they said to Holden's family. It was a Sunday, so we spent the day together, ordered a pizza, and watched movies. That night, everyone slept in my room. Nola and my mom in my bed, my dad in the chair he pulled over. No knocking that night or any night since. We didn't see much of Holden or his parents for the rest of that week, but by Thursday there was a moving truck in their driveway. What sticks with me is how terrified Holden and his parents looked. All three had the same pallor, grim mouths and lightless eyes. Even from across the street, I could tell something was very wrong. I think Holden's parents must have looked either to comfort him if they didn't believe or share the burden he did. I watched Nola some days, happy and young and alive. I wonder if I'd been slower, if she'd look out that window too. Would I be there? Would I comfort her too? To share the burden? We still live in that house, in that neighborhood. We still hear our whistler walking past every night. The blessings, the luck, good things here are too good to leave. But we're careful. We don't have friends over to spend that night anymore. My dad hides the key in the blinds very, very well. Not that I've gone looking. Some things you just don't need to look for. And that's it for that one.
Seriously? Damn.
Yeah, it's a long one.
Damn.
So that one
was a pretty long one.
Yeah, it was pretty long. I don't think it was super scary.
It wasn't super.
No,
it wasn't like
just
such a scary one.
seemed,
Yeah,
it just
it
seems
wasn't-
kind of eerie, or like a
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a good reason to not do something if you're told not to, kind of a thing.
So
Yeah.
what's one we can
Right,
do now?
yeah.
That's
we
why
have,
there are rules.
Something.
we have A Shattered Life. We have My Job is Watching a Woman Trapped in a Room. The previous tenant of my new flat left a survival guide. I'm not sure I want to live here anymore.
Ooh, those are good. The lists ones, those are good.
What do you
Those are
mean?
really good. So it's like, what was the title of that one that you just said?
The previous tenant
Yeah.
of my new flat left a survival guide. I'm not sure I want to live here anymore.
There you go. That
That one?
stuff like that where it's like stuff like that where it's like they left me a list or they left me like a survival guide. Those are really good.
Okay, should we do that one? Damn, that whole one took like half an hour.
Yeah. Man.
Right, we'll do that one, and then I'm checking for another one. Don't Let Them In sounds scary. Hold on. Oh, that's cool. This one's like a document. Okay, yeah, we've got some good ones. Right. Hold on. Let me like the ones that we're gonna do. So first one, then that one, and then
I will be right back.
that one. There, one. Right. Okay, cool. So first off, we're gonna read this list one. It's apparently the most immersive one in 2020.
They're really
Right.
good ones. The
Right.
list ones, they're the best.
I moved in with my boyfriend yesterday. We've been together for 5 years now, and we're old and wise enough to settle down and finally leave our parents' house. He just turned 24 and I'm 22. He's the love of my life. His name is Jamie. I couldn't be happier to be living with him. Hi, Jamie. When we decided to make the leap, we spent 2 months looking for flats and houses. We couldn't afford to buy any yet, so renting was our only option. But the prices were too damn high. Sorry. a little bit of a joke right there. I know.
You're not wrong.
I know,
House
bro.
prices are fucking.
I know, bro. A spacious
crack.
2-bedroom apartment with views of a city park, a balcony, local conveniences. It was in a tower block, so a not so nice area. But neither of us had been wealthy growing up, so we weren't fussy. Just grateful to be together. The advert was sweetened by the deposit-free option and open-ended tenancy. The landlord was happy to sign a 5-year contract if we wanted. That sort of thing never happens in the city. We were told that along with no deposit, we would also have no inspections, but would be liable to pay for any damage.
The fuck was that?
Yeah, who was
Yeah.
The fuck was that?
Taklenn.
Oh, that was me. Sorry. Just realizing something.
I thought you were trying to add to the story aspect.
Yeah,
and
what
I
the
was
hell?
like,
I was
What
like-
the fuck? Did
I was
somebody
like-
just get possessed?
I was like, wait, nothing
No. Sorry
happened.
for the confusion. Sorry.
well,
for
I
the
thought
confusion.
he just was like,
Is that your inhaler?
Oh my god.
well,
The fuck was that?
But actually, guys, before I keep reading this, I'm gonna go get a drink of water real quick.
well, I
Okay,
should have
I
thought that
didn't
was
realize I
just
said
a
anything.
sound
Sorry.
effect. I
Is it your
thought- wait,
inhaler?
No, we're good.
What was
I
that?
said-
Just that was me making a realization of Smoke being possibly one of the most cracked characters in the game.
Oh.
Oh my god, dude, it's in the beginning. I get my. Oh my god. Well, that was
Oh,
just
other
weird,
nests.
man.
Let's get going.
Oh my god. I think Breach just got possessed, bro. You hear the noises in the background, boys? He listens to the Whistler. Boys, in 3 hours,
Bruh.
it'll be the Whistler time for Brief. Which means you'll be able to see the Whistler. Let's do this, guys.
There we go. Sorry, just need a bit of water. Right.
You know, let's go
So-
with this character. Yeah. Welcome back, Brief.
Hello. So we knew that for our budget and the location, we weren't gonna get any better. So we set the place up fast, and not even bothering to view it felt like it was our only chance. Move day rolled around, and quickly yesterday we got the keys to our home. It was a strange feeling. The day was chaos, getting our stuff in and up down lift, and we were flat number 42 on the 7th floor. The items couldn't get in the lift, and had to be taken up the stairs by the removal men. I think they were grateful because we weren't any higher, but I still wish we had been able to give them a better tip. The evening we settled down on our second-hand sofa given to us by the cousin of a friend and watched some TV. Smoked some cigarettes on the balcony, looking at the park. Fell asleep on our mattress on the floor super early because we had no energy to put the bed together yet. And Jamie had work at a hideous time in the morning. We slept soundly last night. I felt safe and happy. I don't think the feeling is coming back anytime soon. It's all due to the note I found this morning. I found it in the kitchen, having a coffee hours after Jamie had left for his early shift at work. It was in one of the cupboards that were fixed to the wall, and a bunch of useful items from the previous tenant. Spare keys to the flat, a set of tiny keys that locked up unlocked windows, necessary for those who have kids this high up, and spare smoke alarm batteries, a folded up piece of paper. The note was handwritten, "New occupier of flat 42," in beautiful cursive on the blank side. I opened it up and set it down to read. I can't really describe to you, so I'm gonna copy it down below. Right, gotta hydrate for this one. This is a long one, Jesus. Hold on. Right. Right. Here we go. Dear new occupier, firstly, welcome to your new home. I've lived here before you for 35 years with my husband. Unfortunately, he had an incident at home recently that I'd rather not discuss that claimed his life. My sister has now decided I can't keep up with the demands of the property and has insisted that I move in with her and her husband. I was reluctant at first, but the stairs do kill me at my age, and without Bernie, it's filled with sadness. Anyway, when you've lived somewhere for as long as I have, it feels like a person that you know. You understand its personality and what makes it tick. I thought it was probably pertinent that I import some of that knowledge to you. It's a wonderful home, honestly. I've lived through the best and worst years, and leaving it behind is very emotional, but if you were to survive and get the best out of it, here are some steps you need to follow. 1. The landlord will never bother you. He doesn't visit, call, or communicate in any way, but make sure rent is. I've only dealt with him once in 35 years, and let's just say I've never missed another rent day. Any repairs required, you speak to the agent rented the place with. 2. Do not use the communal lift between 1:11 and 3:33 a.m. Just don't do it. This step is vital if you have a happy life here. It's really life or death. Do not do it. This has come to me and many others in this building greatly, and I would rather not elaborate on why you should not do this. Please do not do it. I cannot stress this enough. 3. When you hear a strange animal noises coming from flat 48, don't question it. Mr. Prentice lives there, and he's a lovely chap. Don't be afraid to say hello, to lift the corridor on the stairs. He's old school, so he never risks the lift. But whatever you do, don't check on him when you hear the noises. You'll know when you hear them. 4. If you ever come across a window cleaner on the balcony, ignore him. You may seem like the nicest fellow you've ever seen, trying to sell you something at the door, but it really has best that you don't engage. He will go away if you ignore him, but he tries pretty hard the first few times. So you'll need some resilience. Whatever you do, don't offer him anything. No money, no hot drink. 5. Don't leave food scraps out. Bin or refrigerate them immediately. If you have small animals, this is imperative that you watch them eat and take away any leftover food immediately after they are done. And this and rule 2 go hand in hand. The things forage all day and seem to really love animal feed. You don't want them in your flat, promise. You can leave what you want out between 1:11 and 3:30 a.m., so you may not want to feed your pets then. Don't communicate with any neighbors who claim to come from flats 65 and 72. These flats suffered a fire in the late 80s that devastated the whole floor. All the residents died in their homes. The building was mostly council owned, and at that time they never bothered to renovate the flats. They've been empty ever since, and now and again someone will knock at your door claiming they live in one of these flats to ask and borrow some sugar. They will seem entirely average, but you must shut the door and lock it immediately. I installed 2 extra security bolts to avoid these fuckers. I don't like to swear at my age, but they really are fuckers. Simple one for you here. A weapon in each room. Sometimes you need to follow these steps and something just slips out the net. Better to be safe than sorry. 8. The building has a committee that will try and get you to join. It is one of these neighbors groups about improving the conditions for all residents. It's a nice group, and the lady who runs it, Terry from flat 26, is fantastic. By all means get involved, but I wouldn't recommend babysitting Terry's 2 children. She'll ask you because the poor woman needs a break, but if you accept, don't say I didn't warn you. 9. Stray hairless cats sometimes roam the hallway. I know there's supposedly a special expensive breed, but they don't belong to anyone. They're mostly harmless. But don't pick them up unless you see one of the neighbors that claims to be in 65 and 72. Then grab the cat and lock it inside with you. It'll burn your skin a little, but the cats are friendly, and I wouldn't want to see them hurt. 10. There's no way to fix the damp patch in the ceiling in the bedroom. Sometimes it'll turn into a deep crimson and look quite concerning, but please try not to be alarmed. It doesn't drip, it doesn't get any bigger, and it's been there since longer than I have. The landlord won't budget on it, according to the agents. It's flagged many times, even the police on the first night. It changed color, but it's a waste of time, and it will be for you too. Man, this is long. 11. You can trust the postman. His name is Ian Flanders, and he's been the postman since before I moved in. He has his own key to the main door and delivers to the door every morning at 8:54. I can't include everything here, or it'll become a novel. But if you have any questions, Ian will help you. 12. Finally, the first few weeks are the worst. You feel like you've made a mistake. I'm sure reading this you already do. But if you can get through the first few weeks, it's really a lovely block to live in. Every property has its quirks, and this one has a little bit extra special. But you can be truly happy here if you take my advice. I wish you all the best. I really do. Yours truly, Miss Prudence Hemmings. I don't really know what to think after reading the note. Hopefully it was some sort of joke, but the agent hadn't said the previous tenant was some elderly lady, and I can't see anyone named Prudence Hemmings attempt to place any practical jokes on anyone they'd never met. There are also parts of the note that I couldn't disprove. There was indeed a large damp patch over the bed that Jamie and I already discussed reporting. No crimson, but it definitely existed. I had also commented on a beautiful Sphinx cat roaming the halls when we moved in. I started to get seriously freaked out. Our dream, our beautiful little home, had just become the source of fear and confusion. I checked what time it was. It was 9:14. Damn it! Out of time to catch postman Ian. When I opened the door to check, sure enough, 2 letters addressed to Miss Hemmings sat on the doorstep. I think at about 11:15, my worst fears were truly confirmed when a friendly middle-aged man carrying a window cleaning equipment knocked on my balcony door. I ignored him, didn't want to take the risk until I had spoken to Jamie and showed him the note. I felt bad as the man rapped his knuckles against the door for over 10 minutes, but honestly, The longer it went on, the more I was terrified. My windows were sparkling, and due to our lack of curtains, I couldn't hide from his gaze, so I felt so exposed. He stayed there a total of 30 minutes, exactly. Never once did he stop looking at me or knocking. When he finally left, I looked outside every window in the flat, but I couldn't see him on any of the balconies or equipment. Jamie still hadn't texted me back. He must have been having a rough shift. It was Friday and they were always busy. It wasn't often that he would reply. He was due home around an hour anyway. I read the note probably hundreds of times over. I tortured myself reading it for the past hour, desperately waiting for Jamie to come through the door and tell me it was all crazy and I should relax.
Yeah, the second drone auto scans anything near it,
I hope
and then they
for that
stay
much.
scanned for the
Connor,
remainder of the entire
Connor,
time.
you're not muted.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's fine. But Jamie never came. His shift should have finished around midday by 2 p.m., but he wasn't home. I panicked, I cried, and I left over 100 voice messages on his phone, but got nowhere. I finally decided it had been long enough that calling his work would embarrass him, and his boss told me that he never turned up for his shift. I thought about it. What could have happened? Then it hit me. Jamie's shift started at 4 a.m. today. He would have left the flat at 3:15 and taken the lift down the stairs. I don't know what to do. I tried to convince myself it was all a big joke. Maybe Jamie wrote the note and got his boss in on it. A voice in my head kept telling me that he couldn't write it like that even if he tried. But it was all an attempt to fool myself. It's getting late and he still isn't home. What if it was all true? I think we made a big mistake. There you go.
That's the second one?
Yep, that was that one, right?
Mm,
Now,
yeah.
do we want to do my job is watching a woman
Nah,
trapped in a
find us a
room?
really scary one.
I like the lists one or something.
Yeah, the list
Like a
ones are
good one.
cool. Yeah. Something happened to me 63 years ago that's haunted me my entire life.
Frick, you know what? Screw
Haunted
it,
me
you
the
know.
entire life.
Yeah.
Me entire life, mate.
Oh, here's one. Don't let them in. Addiction took our mother slowly, rocked her through, and swung her into a deep... Hold on. Okay. Okay, I want to do this one. Right? You ready for this one? If you can see this, it's very important that you keep reading. This is Cole Jacob Wayne of the United States Air Force. You're reading this right now, and it's very important that you keep reading it until the end. It should
I
take
think I've
3
heard
to
this
5
one
minutes.
before.
And it's extremely... It should take 3 to 5 minutes, and it's extremely important that you should read carefully and follow the instructions provided. Humor me if you must, but please don't look away until you finish reading. Oh, and please try and stay calm. Any increase to your stress will draw their attention. Ergo, I won't go into detail as to how you got where you are. How you got here isn't as important as getting you out. Believe me when I say we are working on that right now. Best way to help yourself is to keep reading. Do not scan ahead. Do not read out aloud. Just read. Oh, so great. I'm already doing this a terrible job. I can't believe... Well, I'm reading out loud to you guys. It's 12:45 a.m. This is a great idea.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, you're still live.
No
Maybe.
problem. Right. So,
Maybe.
right now you're probably thinking on the past few days and nothing felt out of the ordinary. You went about your regular day, activities, nothing unusual to report. That's because they are very good. So good that most people don't even realize that they're in a simulation. Even as our code works its way
Simulation.
deeper into their program, they're monitoring you, so please remain calm. It was tricky, but we found a way to communicate directly with you. We embedded this message into your daily routine so it didn't draw their attention. You're probably reading this on Reddit, Facebook, or some other social media site. Might even be an email forward or a book. We do not know. But we can't control how this message gets to you. We can only know if you're receiving it. Subliminally, your eyes are passing over these words. A code is being uploaded into your brain. Think of it as a computer virus, or in this case, an antivirus. Your brain is an organic computer that they exploited with that, hacked right into your subconscious mind and overrode it with their simulation code. That's how they got it. That's how they got in. And that's why everything appears normal. You might think that you're going about your daily life, but really you're strapped into a table with tubes sticking out of your body. That's fun.
Yes, very.
Yeah. Now that the code is uploading, you may begin to feel some sensations. For example, one might feel slightly warmer than one ear might feel slightly warmer than the other. You might even feel an itch or a tickle. Don't scratch, let it be. Ignore the dull background hum might hear as well. That's their program. If they catch you on before their code has time to work, they will abort the simulation, and if that happens, you'll be lost to us forever. Oh, and don't be alarmed, but by now they realize that we are in their system. You may notice some small changes, specifically in slight shortness of breath, or that you have controlled breathing manually. This is normal. Oh god, I don't like that. I started breathing manually. I hate that. I hate that so much.
I've heard this one before, and it's so good.
It is. It
It's
really
so
is.
good.
We know from other communication attempts that whenever we discover a code break in the first system, they power down one controlling your breathing. Thankfully, even in the simulation, you are capable of breathing manually. Try it. Breathe in, breathe out, inhale, exhale. Awesome, you're doing it just fine. They've probably figured out that there's a glitch, but if our code is working, we've disabled their ability to do a hard reboot because of this. They will try other methods to disrupt the upload, and it's very important that you ignore anything that might draw your attention from these words. Oh my god, I just started looking at the other side of my monitor. This is so good. If we pull you away and any upload completes, it will delete our code, block them out, ignore the movements you see, and perhaps I can't
So
talk.
see, this is one of the best ones that I've ever heard.
Honestly, those sounds you hear, the voices, they aren't family, friends, or co-workers in need of attention. They might even be your pets. They know your weaknesses. Overlook the notifications popping up on your screen. If you're on a phone or computer, block them out until you finish reading. This is another way they'll try and break a communication link. Evidently, our code is working. And the next thing you'll notice is an overwhelming surge to swallow. Oh my god. Bro, this is good.
Keep reading. It's better.
You don't realize it, but there's a feeding tube down your throat. Oh, I hate those.
Okay.
You only know that it's there because your tongue won't rest comfortably in your mouth. You might also become hyper aware of the amount of saliva being produced. Oh my god, it's gonna make me do it again.
Yep. Keep reading.
Don't overreact, because if you have to swallow, just swallow. It's only weird if you make it weird. So, if you're still reading this, the code is about 90% complete, and we've locked onto your location. You're doing great, but you're really gonna have to focus now. Once the upload is complete, there will be instructions you will need to follow to exit the simulation. That is, if you follow the instructions and haven't looked away. Complicating matters is the fact that they now know we are here, and they know what we're doing. Their attempts to divert your attention through a simulation proved unsuccessful, so now they are going to use your body's systems against you. They are in your brain. They want you to blink. Don't blink. Your life depends on keeping your eyes open. Bro, come on, don't. I'm not gonna blink. I'm gonna keep it in. Almost there. Just a few paragraphs until the code is uploaded complete. Don't scan down or up. Just keep reading. I've got you in this far. Stay with me. Eyes open. Eyes front. Keep them locked to the screen. Please focus. I do not want to lose you. I've lost so many already. Oh, I blinked. Ignore it all. Block everything.
Or keep
out.
reading.
Ignore that tickle in your scalp. Oh my god, stop. Ignore the itch on your arm. Stop it. That's them. Fight the manual override. Don't give up now. You made it this far. Fight it. You're almost there. Don't give instructions now. We can get you out. Embedded in this text are the steps you need to follow to unplug from the simulation. If we did this correctly, the first letter of each paragraph will tell you what you need to do. Don't look yet. The upload still needs to finish. I hope you didn't look. Upload complete. We've done everything we can do on this end. See you on the other side. Right, so now we gotta read all this.
Yep, what's it say?
T-H-E-R-E. So there is no. Wait, there is now a.
There is no escape.
No. Now a. There is no way. T-O-E-S.
What did the instructions say? The first letter of
every paragraph. A. Wait, hold on. Let me. Here, let me try it.
or the first word of every paragraph.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Let me full screen it. It'll look weird on stream, but it's because I'm full
Oh
screen.
jeez.
Let me do it on docs. I'll try it out. This is really cool. I like this. Oh god, it made me feel so much. Right, so T H E R E I S N O W There's no a there is no way.
So that there is no way out, or
No, the T O E S C A P. There's no way to escape.
see, I was starting to think it was like there is no way they can save you now.
That is so good.
Mm-hmm.
To escape, you. Oh, I hate that. That gave me chills, bro.
What does it say?
There's no way to escape us. Bro,
Yeah.
I have chills, bro. I hate
Oh
that.
goddamn.
Bro.
That's why it's such a good one. Especially if you're the one reading it.
Yeah, as the guy reading it. It's terrifying, bro. Oh my. I hate
Yeah, we
that.
aren't probably gonna feel as much because with brief.
Well, it depends on when you're listening to it as well. And if you're like playing a game by yourself, like if you're alone
I hate that it's
playing
like
a game,
I
then
hate
it
that
also
I'm
works.
I'm alone. It's nearly 1 a.m. I'm decoding
And you're
some
on Reddit.
message. It made
Fit
me.
this
Bro.
into your daily
It
routine.
made me think.
Probably
of all the
scrolling through
things.
Reddit or something right now.
Yeah, and then like it says that in like the first letter of each paragraph. Bro, okay, that's literally giving me chills. It's like
Yeah,
constant. I
that
hate
one.
that.
That one is one of the best. That one is one of, if not the best. Some other good ones are like, I'm a park ranger for the U.S., like Forest Service or something like that. Those are good ones.
Bro, I hate that. I was so good, but I hate.
Yeah. There's this YouTuber. He his name is Fresh. He did an entire series of no sleep.
Yeah.
So good. They're like half an hour each. So good. So good.
Right, let's do 2 more. This one's called My Son's Camera Monitor Alerted in the Middle of the Night. I checked it and saw my wife and son sitting on the bed. They weren't my wife and son. Bro, I hate the freaking. I'm
One of them
still
I read once like a while ago. It was like my wife returned from a work trip, but the woman that returned was not my wife.
Oh jeez, that's fun.
That's a
That
scary
one was a super good one. I really like that one.
I'm a nurse and I currently work nights. It's a total drag, but I'm hopeful I can go days soon without some coworkers. Wait, sorry. God, I totally just... Sorry. I can't get my mind out of that freaking other one. It scared the crap out of me. Right. Honestly, whoever made that, god tier, bro. I'm a nurse and I currently work nights. It's a total drag, but I'm hopeful I can go to days soon. Okay, that's just a typo. Since some coworkers are planning retirements. Anyway, I was working one night, and just after 3 a.m., of course, my son's monitor alerted me to the sound and movement. No big deal at all. He probably coughed loudly or sneezed or something. He's 3 now, and he generally sleeps all night. So I bring it up on my phone, and I can see him and my wife sitting on the bed. Again, no big deal. He might have cried out or gotten scared or something. I was about to close the app when I noticed they were acting strange, almost creepy. And when I say almost creepy, I mean creepy as balls. They were sitting on the bed together, both of them just staring up at the camera with blank, emotionless stares. The night vision is black and white, so they had black and white eerie looking eyes. They didn't move at all, aside from their visible breathing. They just sat there staring at the camera. I close the app and give my wife a call to make sure everything's okay. I never call home on lunch, so in this way it's kind of nice to get to talk to my family once at work. It rings a couple of times before she answers with a very groggy hello, and it was like she was dead asleep when I called, and she looked wide awake on the camera. Hey, you guys okay? Huh? Yeah, Buddy, my son's nickname, came in like 15 minutes ago, screamed and scared, so I said he could sleep with Mama. I'm confused. Here, since I saw them in my room a minute ago. Literally 60 seconds had passed since I closed the app and made the call. Wait, so you guys are in bed? Yeah, I fell back asleep right away. Everything okay? Everybody keeps waking me up, she says, kind of annoyed. Hang on a sec. I put her on speaker and bring up the app, hoping I don't see it when the app loads, and the pain of intense nervousness in my stomach. When I haven't had in a long time, since I was a kid in school and realized I was eating a breakfast paper or something. Oh, sorry, that I was eating breakfast and a paper was due in or something that I hadn't done. My heart leaps into my throat. My wife and son are sitting on this bed looking up at the camera, same emotionless stares. Hello? You guys are in bed, right? Yeah, we're trying to sleep. Well, I'm looking at the camera and I see you two sitting on his bed. No, we're in our bed. I know, that's what you mean, but I'm looking at this bed and you two are there. Hang on, she says, quiet for a sec, as she brings up the camera on her phone. I hear this guttural, terrified gasp. Like she had sucked all the air from the room into her lungs, filling them to capacity. I don't hear this kind of gasp from my wife often. Usually only when it's truly afraid, during a jump scare in a movie, or one time we turned her back on our son for literally a second and he was down by the mailbox, inches from the road. I hear the rustling of sheets and the line goes dead. Of course now I'm absolutely terrified. So I immediately call back and it goes to voicemail. I call again, and I call again with no answer. Finally, after 4 minutes, she calls me. I tell you that 4 minutes felt like 40 years. Hey, what's happening, I ask. She's absolutely hysterical and crying. I can't understand a word she says. Stop, slow down a second, I say. She slows down enough to explain they're in the car driving to her parents. She looked at the camera. When she saw what was on it, she got up, grabbed her son, and rushed out downstairs. She didn't even close the garage. Don't worry about it, I said. I'll drive by when I get off and close it. We live in a generally safe neighborhood, so I'm not too concerned that the door's up. You will not go in there, she says. Hell no, I returned. Why are we on the camera, she asked. Is it recording? I said, I don't know. I returned. I'm gonna keep watching it, and if there's anything I can do, our code words with Buddy. We have code words, because we're nerds. And I've seen too many, pod people and imposter movies. So, we decided a long time to make code words with each other, to be able to tell if one of us was an imposter or not. We have a couple code words, but we also have 3-sentence story recite together, each saying a different part alternatively. And I hear her on the phone saying things we taught her son. He giggles and he says them. He does it every time with a little practice. He thinks they're a joke and doesn't have an idea of the real meaning. We're both convinced he's our real son. My wife then says our part. I'm convinced that she's her. We made up these words as completely joke to ourselves, and never once in my life ever imagined we'd actually need them. Unreal. She got to her parents safely, and it was hard to hang up. I told her we'd figure it out in the morning, and hopefully it was just a glitch. She said she didn't think it was a glitch. When she was running out, she had to run by her son's room, and the door was open. A little flashing light on the back of the camera indicates that it's connected to the internet, and it gives off just enough light to where she saw, with the corner of her eye, a shadowy outline of what could have been the adult sitting on her son's bed. Knowing that they were safe and out of the house, the only thing that kept me at work that night. It was a long 4 hours, but I kept checking the camera every chance I got. Sure enough, they were still sitting there on the bed with the camera with emotionless gazes. I studied them to see if I could see any pattern, from the breathing to their blinking. The breathing was steady and looked normal. It was their blinking that would tell me if this was just bizarre time-looped freak accident video or not. I intently stare at my phone and I count the seconds between each blink, telling myself this is a loop. Then their blinks would be even and occur at the same time. There was no pattern. It was erratic and random, just as a person blinking should be. The passing hours were what finally sealed the deal. This is not a weird loop video of some kind. My son's window is visible on the camera, and I could see that it's getting lighter outside his room. His curtains keep out just enough light to prevent the camera from exiting night vision, but lets in just enough to be able to tell the sun's rising. I try to figure out what the hell I'm going to do before I leave work. Calling the police comes to mind, but I talk myself out of it. First of all, what am I supposed to say? Someone is in my house but they look like my wife but isn't? Worse yet, what if they are entities, some kind of police do go over and it kills them or something? I decide not to tell coworker about it. He's a firm believer in the paranormal and might have a suggestion. Oh, sorry, I decide to tell. Sorry, I decided not to. Sorry. He's a firm believer in the paranormal and might have a suggestion. I showed him the video and tell him the story, and his initial response was, "That's creepy as and it doesn't help much." But then he wants to go over and check it out. So we both should see if my not wife will try to act like my wife. I tell him absolutely not, and he says we should at least go to the house even if we don't go in. I agreed because I wanted to close the garage. We got to my house and walked around the perimeter first. Not sure what we wanted to accomplish by that, but it felt like something we should do. The curtains were all drawn, like nobody was there to open them in the morning, so we couldn't see anything. I went to the closet garage, and suddenly I had this overwhelming urge to go inside and investigate. It was like I just had to know what was going on. So inside we went. We walked through the kitchen towards the foyer where the stairs are, and it's so quiet in the house right now you could hear a feather drop. Forget the pin. We stop at the bottom of the stairs, wait a few seconds, and look at the camera again. They're still sitting there. I've never been so scared in my life. My co-worker puts his foot on the first step and I suddenly say, "Stop." "Forget this, we're out of here," I tell him. "Come on." I start making my way back to the kitchen. We hear a loud creak in the floor upstairs. It's my son's room. He has a very loud creaky board in the middle of his floor that's almost impossible not to step on. My wife and I are still deciding if we want to fix it. "Come on, come on, come on," as I yell, as I motion for him to move his ass. We're out of the house in about 2 seconds. Out of the street, I check my phone. Now only not my son was sitting on the bed. Same blank stare. Not my wife was gone. That was stupid as of us. Do not tell my wife we went inside. She would be so ungodly mad if she found what we just did. I used the garage door opener in my car to close the door before we leave, and I look at the camera again. Not my wife is back in the bed with not my son, both staring blankly at the camera again, blinking every few seconds. That was all about 4 days ago. Not my wife and not my son are still sitting on the bed, staring up at the camera. They haven't moved a millimeter. We obviously haven't gone back into our house. What do we do? So, we have two options. We can read part 2 of that, because it's linked. Or, should we, should we read another one, or should we read part 2 of this? Because we have others that we can check out, but we also have part 2. Yeah, but we also have part 2 of this. Like, hold on, let's see what others we have. We have, hold on. My dead girlfriend keeps messaging me on Facebook. I've got the screenshots and I don't know what to do.
No, I've heard that one before. That one's not that great.
Is it not?
No, not that great. It's okay, but it's not that good.
Emergency alert. This is not a test. Immediate threat for residents of withheld countries. Beware of severe winds, lightning, severe flash floods. Okay, that's cool. It's an emergency alert. We've got package marked return to sender, which looks like a creepy package that does something. If you're armed at the Glenmount Metro, please shoot me. That's weird. I had a disturbing conversation with my 7-year-old daughter. Ooh, this one's cool. It's like a short one, but it's like a scary one. So we can do this one and another one. Wanna do that?
Which one?
I think this one's short. I had a disturbing conversation with my 7-year-old daughter.
Sure.
Yeah? Might be like
that one sounds interesting.
Might be a creepy, because kids are always saying the weirdest things. You know, kind of stuff.
They're fucking weird.
Dad, I saw a zombie. I was in the kitchen making tea when my little girl came rushing in. She ran through the door so fast she almost tripped on the step, and I poured boiling water of the kettle into a mug, hardly looking up. "Oh yeah?" "Yeah, I did. His face was all pale and messed up and gross, Dad." I put the kettle back on and picked up the note. Sighed inwardly. I really had to be more careful about what I watched on TV in the morning. Rosie has a habit of sneaking downstairs in the middle of the night. and she caught me watching The Walking Dead. Sweetheart, what did we say about zombies? I scooped the tea bag out of the mug. You know, if you keep talking about them, Daddy's going to get in trouble with Mommy again. Yeah, but I saw one. I know, darling, but I already checked the back garden twice yesterday, and I can promise this is a zombie-free zone. No, not in the garden. I didn't see it in the back garden. I had the mug half raised to my lips. Now I put it down again, and I turned to look at Rosie. Her hair was windswept out of her little cheeks. They were red, as if she was running. Sweetheart, I put my best stern, Daddy's not happy voice. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to be honest with me. Have you been playing along the path back out again? I didn't really need to ask the question because I already knew the answer. Rosie is allowed to play in the garden on her own, and sometimes, if she asks permission first, we let her ride her bike along this path at the back of our house. There's one that runs behind the neighbors' back gardens that we all allow her to do. This area is pretty safe, and these days you can never be too careful. There was a burglary a couple roads down a few months back, and last year someone was mugged on the high street several years ago. A few towns over, in a year, and a little boy went missing. Quite a long way away from here, of course, but it still made national news for a few days. Rosie's getting older, and she's an adventurous girl, but still, you have to have boundaries. And on a few occasions lately, Rosie's been crossing those boundaries, sneaking out of the back gate, and she's only meant to be playing in the garden. As I watched Rosie now, I noticed her face growing redder. She looked away from me down the kitchen floor. I scuffed past her feet. Dad, I only went a little way down, I promise. I was chatting to Mr. Henderson because I saw him in his back garden, and I said hello and made him jump. So there it was. Mr. Henderson was Rosie's zombie. I took a sip of the tea and shook my head. Mr. Henderson was, in fairness, a better candidate than the others. The guy lives on his own, looks about 100 years old, moles all over his face like a deflated balloon. Listen to me, sweetheart. You didn't go far or anything, but I don't want you. I came right back after too, Dad, Rosie interrupted. She's staring up at me now. Big blue eyes, large and pelting, promise. And even said no when Mr. Henderson offered me ice cream, because I know you don't want me taking stuff from strangers. He offered you ice cream? Yeah, but I said no. Henderson really wanted me to come in and have one. But I told him I had to get home. Then I came straight back home to tell you that I'd seen a zombie, and Rosie was babbling now, her voice whirring like a motor. But my mind was stuck on something. Mr. Henderson really wanted me to come in and have one. I took another sip of tea and frowned. That wasn't good. I don't mind the neighbors chatting to my little girl, but I don't like the thought of them inviting her in. Not without us there. I made my mind to go around and visit Mr. Henderson later, and tell him that myself that kindly, of course, but firmly. In the end, I didn't get a chance because a few months after I had the thought, Rosie said something else. Something that pushed everything else from my mind and ended any idea that I might have go see. Daddy, please don't stop me playing in the garden. I promise I won't sneak out again. I don't want the zombie to get me. Rosie, I'm not going to stop you playing in the garden, but you have to make me a couple of promises too. First, promise me you'll stop going around calling people zombies. Mr. Henderson may be old, but he's not one of the living dead. I didn't. What do you mean you didn't? You ran here a moment ago calling him one. No, I didn't. Mr. Henderson's not the zombie. I saw the zombie in his house, but it wasn't him. I frowned, the mug raised to my lips, and another sip of tea. But I put it down again. What do you mean, sweetheart? Yeah, the zombie died. I could see it pressed against this little basement window while I was talking to him. Cold fingers ran up my spine. What? Yeah, it was really scary, like a face all bashed up and bloody. His mouth was open, like it was screaming at me.
Oh,
But-
jeez.
But
Holy shit.
do you know what confused me, Dad? I tried to keep my voice steady. What? Well, I didn't realize kids could be zombies too. 'Cause I thought it was only grown-ups, but I guess
What?
It could have been wrong because the one in Mr. Henderson's basement looked like a little boy.
Oh,
And that's the end.
Hey, yo!
damn.
Hey, yo!
That ended pretty
Yeah,
well.
Bro.
that's mad sauce, boys.
Bro.
He
That-
fell for the ice cream. The
He
kid
fell-
that went missing fell for the ice cream.
That was
He
pretty
did.
good.
Oh,
Oh my God,
shit.
Bro.
Now
Zombie.
we can
Oh
do
my
my
God.
girlfriend talk. Wait. Actually, no. Sorry. Where is it? Hold on. My dead girlfriend keeps messaging me on Facebook. I've gotten screenshots, but I don't know what to do. Should we do that one?
Oh, shit.
Mm.
Hello?
Hi, you there?
Fucking, my gun wasn't reloaded.
Do you,
Okay.
Do you want to
Oh,
do the?
fucking hell.
Do you want to do the my dead
I
girlfriend
can't
one?
reload anymore.
Yeah, we're just gonna do it. All right. We've got
We need something. How long have we been doing this? Oh, we've been doing this for 3 hours, boys.
3 hours. What? No, it's
Yeah.
only an hour.
Hey, we started at 2.
What? I'm pretty sure we didn't.
I could have sworn we started at 2. I guess not.
No, it must have been over. Right.
Hmm.
Here's the next one. My dead girlfriend keeps messaging me
Oh.
on Facebook,
That's fun.
and I've got the screenshots. I don't know what to do. Hold on, I want to see these screenshots first. Oh wait, he has all of them linked.
Does he
Holy
actually?
crap! Yeah, this is a true story. This is not like a little thing. This is like a thing that's actually
Oh,
happening.
Hell
Okay.
no. That-
Tonight's
fuck that.
kind of a
No, no, no.
catalyst for this post. I've just received another message, and it's oh wait, is this not the first part? Okay, here, yeah, no, it is. It's worse than any of the others. My girlfriend died on the 7th of August, 2012. She was involved in a 3-car collision driving home from work when someone ran a red light. She passed away within minutes of the scene. We'd been dating for 5 years at that point. She wasn't big on the idea of marriage. It felt archaic, and she said it gave her a weird vibe. But if she had been, I would have been married to her within 3 months of our relationship. She was vibrant, kind of girl you would choose dare every time. She was happiest when camping, a total technophile too. She also smelled like cinnamon. That being said, she wasn't perfect. She always said something along the lines of, if I cark it first, don't just say good things about me. I've never liked that. If you don't pay me out, then you're not doing me a disservice. I've got so many flaws, and this is part of me. So this is from the music she said she liked, and the music she actually liked were very different. Her idea of affection was a side hug, and she had really long toes like
Damn.
a chimpanzee. Right.
Damn.
Aw.
Just straight up
Fucking
destroying
roasting
him.
her.
I know.
Shit.
Yeah.
Man,
I thought she was your girlfriend, man.
Yeah,
What the
man.
hell?
man, I guess he's got a thing for chimpanzee feet.
Damn.
Yeah, I know,
We're
right?
just calling him out there.
Oh god, I just realized this girl's dead. I feel horrible now. Right. I know that's tangential, but I don't feel right discussing her without you having an idea of what she was like. on to the meat.
Mm.
M. I thought it was like a kind of thing. No, her name's Emily, but she goes by M. M had been dead for approaching 13 months when she first messaged me. September 4th, 2013. Oh, I hate this already. I hate this. Right. Emily. Hello? Nathan. Who is this? It's really weird receiving messages from Emily's account. Okay, well, in the future, please send me messages from your account, even if you want to discuss her page. Emily, hello? Susan, are you on Emily's account? Right, let's continue it. Oh wait, how do I... Oh, right, okay, yeah. This is where it began. I left Emily's Facebook account activated so I could send her the occasional message, post on her wall, go through her albums. It felt too final and too un-Emily to memorialize it. I share access with her mother, Susan, meaning her mother has her login password and has spent a total of approximately 3 minutes on the website, or computer total. After a little confusion, I assumed it was her. November 16th, 2013. Hello. Let's hit up a certain place, trail, this Sunday. Who the hell is this? The wheels on the bus. Please tell me who you are. This is when it began. I left Emily's... sorry. I read the same thing again. I'd received confirmation from Susan that she hadn't logged into M's Facebook account since the week of her death. M knew a lot of people, so I instantly assumed that this was one of her more tech-savvy friends effing with me in the worst possible way. I noticed pretty much immediately that whoever was chatting with me was recycling old messages from M and my shared chat history. The wheels on the bus comment was from we were discussing songs to play on the road trip, and eventuated hello happened a million times. Around February 2014, Emily started tagging herself in my photos. I would get notifications for them. The tag would generally be removed by the time I got to it. But the first time I actually caught one was... It felt like someone had punched me right in the gut. She would tag herself in spaces where it was possible for her to be, or where she would usually hang out. I've got screenshots of two from April and June. These are the only ones I've caught. They're a little out of the timeline. I'm just trying to write out. So here's one where she's tagged. And then another one where he's holding a little liquor bottle. And she's tagged in that one as well. Creepy.
What's up, Dad?
Angry around this period of time, I stopped being able to sleep. I was too angry to sleep. She would tag herself in random photos every couple weeks, and the friends who noticed I said something thought it was effed up. An effed up bug. I found out recently there have been friends who have noticed and didn't say anything. Some of them removed me from the Facebook friend list. At this point, some of you may be wondering why I didn't just kill my Facebook profile. I wish I had. I did for a little while. On days I can't get out, though, it's nice having friends available to chat. It's nice visiting M's page when the little green circle isn't next to her name. I was already socially reclusive when M was alive. Her death turned me into something pretty close to a hermit. Facebook and MMOs were popular and are my only real social outlets. On March 15th, I sent what I assumed was M's hacker message. Why are you doing this? Why do you keep tagging her? On March 25th, I received an answer. hello, 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 hello. This is actually devastating. I don't know why you enjoy doing this. OMG cinnamon scented candles. Go to hell. Why are you doing this? Right. It wasn't until I was going over these logs a few months later that I noticed that she was recycling my own words as well. My response seems kind of lackluster, but I intentionally providing him/her with emotional bait. This is actually devastating to keep them interested in their game. I was working off the assumption that some kind of person would do this and would be the kind of person to thrive on the distress of others. I was posting in tech forums looking for ways to track this person, contacting Facebook. I needed help so I could gather evidence. Before anyone asks, yes, I changed the password and all security info countless times. 16th of April, I received this. Emily says, we should make our own jam. JFC Samantha, not different. No chance of passing. No chance of passing. How many? Garage side door. Side. No chance of passing. Oh, wait, that just sounds like she's hidden in the garage door. I don't like that. It seems like a word salad, like all of our conversations so far. It's recycled from previous messages she sent. 29th of April. Baked beans on toast. I don't know. I just kind of said, yo, ask Nathan. 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 And then Nathan actually says, I don't know what's happening. I don't know how you're still doing this. Please stop. And then Emily says, please stop. I don't know what's happening. Nathan, I don't know what's happening. That's creepy. Bro.
Yeah, but bro, right as you started the whole thing where she started texting him, kids in the background of my frame of my in life just started screaming. I was like, oh hell no.
Bro, no. It sounds like she's trying to communicate with him through the dead.
From
the dead, like through that. I haven't discovered any leads. Facebook had told me the locations of her page had been accessed from, but since her death, they're all places I can't account for. My home, my work, her mom's house, etc.
Oh, that's lovely.
My response here wasn't bait. Yoax Ask Nathan was an in-joke too. Lame worth explaining. But seeing her say it again was absolutely effing crippled me. My reaction in real life was much less prettier. I'm not expecting my bond back. Her last few messages had started to scare me. Oh, same, bro. But I wouldn't admit it at this point.
Just a wee bit.
Okay, this one's apparently the scariest, or one of the scariest. 8th of May. I don't really have any words for this. Bro, no. Stop. No.
Knowing it could be real and everything, like, oh god.
Bro, this one's
no.
terrifying. Right, okay, you ready? So it sounds like at first I asterisk, -12, -15.
Get Cecil.
My jumper's in the dryer and it's really cold out. It's really cold out. Cold. Nathan, please stop. Cold, freezing. I don't know what's happening. Bro. No. I hate this. I hate this so much. Bro, do you want to see the actual, like, images of this? Like, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this and, like... Hold on, let me...
I don't know if I want to, man.
Hold on one sec. I'm just getting a screenshot of this. So you can see, I'm putting it in group chat. This is what I have to deal with.
Every single time you do these.
Well, yeah, no, this is the kind of stuff I'm clicking on. Like, this is the one I just read out to you. Check the Fireteam Alpha chat. So basically she's not texting. She's like using old chat logs. Like
Damn.
check your phone. And wait, Taklenn, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, check the Destiny 2 fire team.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
No, man, come on, read it out. It's
I
terrifying.
don't have my phone on me.
Oh,
But,
okay.
like,
But like Taklenn, if you see it and then Horn, wait, Horn, are you there?
he is.
Uh,
We're
he-
just being silent.
This is the thing I'm looking at. So yeah, she's communicating him to him.
Through the dead.
Yeah, and with his old things and with her old stuff as well. Like with this one, it sounds like she's saying she doesn't know what's happening, so she doesn't know if she's dead and it's cold. Yeah.
Oh, so she still thinks she's alive.
Well, she's confused.
That
She
is
doesn't know.
true.
Because she says, I, -12, -15. My jumper's in the dryer. It's really cold out. Really cold out. Cold. Nathan, please stop. Cold. Freezing. I don't know what's happening. Like, that's terrifying. I hate that. Alright, we're gonna continue. Freezing is the first original word she's, made. This is giving me nightmares, and I've only started to kick in recently. I keep dreaming that she's in an ice-cold car, frozen blue and gray. I'm standing outside in the warmth, screaming at her to open the door. She doesn't even realize I'm there. Sometimes her legs are outside with me. 24th of May. Nathan, I'm drunk. I miss you. Whoever's on this account, I don't give a F.
You're never stunned.
I keep coming home from work expecting to see you at the computer. Shouldn't I be used to that now? Just let me walk? I hate this. Wait, okay.
Honor Kit, you guys have a stun grenade?
I wasn't
I do,
actually
yeah.
drunk.
I don't.
She wasn't an affectionate
But I need
girl.
one more.
And it always embarrassed her to exchange I love yous, cuddle,
I need you to stun it.
talk about how much we meant to each other.
Why would you just use that top one there?
She was more comfortable with it when I was boozed up.
Shit.
I got fake drunk a lot. Her reply was prompted to me and finally gave me memorials, her page,
Just stun the tormentor. again.
thinking it might help curb this behavior. It might seem innocuous compared to the previous message, but it's passed from an old conversation where I was trying to convince her to let me drive her home from her friends. In the collision, the dashboard had crushed her. She was severed in a diagonal line from her right hip midway to her left thigh. Oh.
That's...
That's why she was saying legs under dashboard and let me walk. Oh, I hate that. No.
It was done.
Stop. I hate this, bro.
What the f...
Bro, are you looking at the image?
Do any of you guys have a stun?
No.
What? Okay, these are the
I can
logs
if we
from the
find
day.
some.
Okay, so this one goes back to 2012. So we'll see like what actual messages she sent. Like she said. So Nathan said, "Hey, are you on your way home, Emily? When did you get the message? When you get the message,
I got
please ring me." I rang. They said they left you at 4. I'm starting to panic. I feel sick in my stomach. Please ring me, Emily. Emily, answer your phone. These are the logs from the day she died. She was usually home from work by 4:30. This alongside a couple of voicemail messages last time I talked to her, under assumption that she was still alive. You'll see why I'm showing these to you soon. Yesterday,
Oh,
1st of July, 2014. Oh, this is a full-on... Okay, Emily is now full on texting, like full on things now. Hey, are you on your way home? Emily, when you see this, please ring me straight away. Please stop. I rang and they said you left at 5. I'm starting to panic. Please stop. Cold. Emily, answer your phone. I don't know what's happening. Cold, freezing. Oh, God. This
Can't
scares
stay
me.
still.
I memorialized her page a couple of days after I received the message about walking. Until today, she'd been quiet. She wasn't even tagging herself in my photos. I don't know what to do anymore. Do I kill
To
her
defeat
memorial
the,
page? What if it's her? I want to puke. I don't know what's happening.
Chance.
I just heard from a
We
Facebook
have
alert.
one.
I'm too afraid to swap windows and check it.
So that's fun.
Wait,
So how are
what?
you, Bree?
1 second. I'm
wait,
good. I'm
that's what it is?
reading these. Oh, bro, these are terrifying, bro. So there's no part 2. I wish there was a part 2. I need more of this, bro. Well, yeah, we gotta do that every. We gotta do that a lot more.
Wait, Kate, you have some?
Well, guys,
Yep.
that was Spooky Series r/ no sleep, and now I'm not gonna get any sleep because it is currently 1:38 a.m. I'm probably not gonna get any sleep.
Oh my good lord, it's the Smashers. They're the
So I will see you guys later. Goodbye. I'm gonna try